everyone, I'm Kira.
And I'm Alicia.
And we're stitching something.
This is episode number 3. And we are actually really thrilled with all the feedback that we've gotten, the kindness. I'll speak a little more on kindness when I show one of my projects in a minute. But we just really appreciate you coming back and watching. We are going to be talking about cross stitch. We will be talking a little bit about some of our other crafting with quilting and crochet and a few other surprises that we like to throw in. So we'd like to welcome you back. So, what you been up to since last time? Do you remember everything we've done?
Since last time, crafting hasn't happened much for me. But we both went on vacation.
Yes.
Which was fun.
We filmed the week of the 4th of July, but we hadn't had it yet. And we did have a barbecue. And it is one of the coldest 4th of Julys I ever remember. About 30 years ago, there was another one. And that one in my scrapbook that my mom made, it says, "Look at the snow in them there hills," because the Wasatch Mountains had snow in the background. This time, there was snow. It rained during our party. And so we just brought everybody in. There were some that hid under the eaves of the house. We don't have a covered patio at this point. So we just ducked away and stayed dry and enjoyed one another. A few games were played and good company, great family. So that was fun. And then we did have our vacations. Where were you?
Yeah, so I went to girls' camp. So basically a whole bunch of young girls from our neighborhood from like the ages of 11 to 18-ish. They go on a big camp, and I was one of the leaders. I'm only a few years above them in age, so I got mistaken as a young woman a lot, but that's okay. But yeah, it was really hot up there. You'd think when you're going to the mountains that it'd be a little cooler, but it wasn't. And at the beginning, another leader asked me with this pregnancy if I've gotten swollen ankles at all, and I said, no, I haven't. I've been really good. And then 2 hours later, my ankles were huge. It's like, and then my legs looked like elephant legs. So since I've gone back, they've gone back to normal, which has been nice. But altitude is not good for swollen ankles. So.
And how many weeks are you now?
I'm 29 weeks and 1 day.
And how's she coming?
She's doing good. She's getting so big and she's moving a ton. So we're just super excited. We're getting closer.
It's very fun. I'm very, very excited because first little grandbaby, I don't know what to expect, except I'm excited. And I don't have to be pregnant to get a little baby to love on. That's related to me. So I went with my husband, who I don't think we've talked much about my husband. Sorry, we will now talk all things family. No. But my husband, we've been married for 28 years. He's absolutely amazing, and I love him so much, and I even like him most of the time, and I hope he likes me most of the time too. You've never heard me say that?
No.
Well, everybody has their moments after 28 years that there's something that you don't like. Anyway, but he's the dad of all my children. We've been married since we were young and still happy. Anyway, my husband and my son that lives with us, 24.
Yeah, he's 24.
We went to Oregon. We flew out of Salt Lake and up to Portland, and then we went over across to Tillamook and had a little bit of ice cream there. We didn't even eat any cheese curds or any cheese. We just ate the ice cream. And then we drove down the coast. That first day, we stayed in the Newport area. But on our way, before we went to Tillamook, we stopped at Acorns and Threads, which is a cross-stitch shop in the Portland area. And it was fabulous. I'll have some haul to show you guys in a little bit. But it was a darling little store. My husband was sitting in the parking lot after he ran and grabbed some food to eat. And he wanted to stop some of the people and say, there's this lady, and here's what her hair is, and this is what she's wearing. Go tell her you've seen her on Flosstube. So he didn't get brave enough to actually do it, to harass me. But they had a cute little stitching room. There were a bunch of people in there stitching and talking and just having a great time. And like I said, it was a great shop. I would definitely recommend stopping in there. And then it was cold, which is actually what I want in the middle of July because it's so hot here. We're close to 100 degrees a lot of the time, in the 90s almost all the time, if we're not in the hundreds. And it's just dry and hot. And so it was nice to go somewhere with some humidity, somewhere with
wind.
We got there. It was so windy. My son sent video and my hair was just going. I had it braided, but it was still just coming out of the braid and frizzing everywhere. And I think at one point he did a video for you guys and zoomed in on it and got to the point where I just had this hair sticking out on the side.
So windy.
So windy. But what I wanted, traffic there is so nice. I know that sounds weird to say, but our speed limits on the freeway are 70 here. And that's fast going through a city. I enjoy the slowdown of the 55 so that we have time to react and respond to lots of things. Not that there was anything we needed to respond to, but just that you had time to change lanes and things. Also, while we were there, we were scheduled to go deep sea fishing on Monday. And this was my second attempt at deep sea fishing. The first time was in California.
The first time was terrible. We all hated it so bad. It was with live bait when we went in California, and there were way too many people on the boat, so it was miserable for all of us. So she was trying again in Oregon.
Because my husband had been there a different time with the same son, and he loved it. He said, I didn't get seasick at all. We just went right off the coast, caught some rockfish, came back in. It was great. So we booked for Monday, and it was too windy and too foggy. And they said, we're not going out. We've had to send in all the boats on Sunday, so we'll go on Tuesday. So we rescheduled for Tuesday, and we went out, and we caught 12 fish between the three of us. I caught 3. Okay, I kind of caught 3. I have an asterisk by one of those. My son caught 8. He threw a couple back, and my husband caught 2. But by the time we were dropping crab pots along the way, and by the time we got out to where we were going to fish, I was not feeling so good. And I was like, I don't know. So I was just watching the coast, just staring off to the side to try to anchor myself a little bit. And my husband just grabbed his pole and starts fishing. So I was like, okay, I can do it. So I grabbed my pole and I start fishing. And the captain of the boat had grabbed a pole right next to me. And I asked him, I said, how long have you been doing this? And he said, 29 years. Or not 29 years, sorry. Since 99. That was totally wrong. I don't know where 29 came from. Since 99. Since 99. Close. And he, so then he's fishing next to me, and the guy on the other side said, how many have you caught? And he said, I haven't caught any. And so he sets his hook, he gets a fish on it, and being very kind, he reaches over and swaps me poles. So I pull in the fish, and I turn to him and I said, now I know why you haven't caught any fish since 99. He said, that's funny, I'm going to use it. And I said, good, because I'm funny once a day. Anyway, so that was very kind of him for the first one. The other 2 I was able to set and bring in on my own. Well, they help bring them onto the boat so that they're pokey fish. Those rockfish are pokey, so they do bring them in so that you're not hurt. But while we're doing all of that, my husband started to get sick. And if you have a queasy stomach, just skip ahead. He got sick. And I was just feeling queasy. I wasn't sick. Leaning over the edge of the boat. Sick. So he got sick. There were a couple other passengers that were sick. We were moving different spots in between catching the fish. And we moved to the spot where it was foggy. And when it got foggy, I would say, I think 5 out of the 11 people fishing were sick. So I was okay for a minute, and then for some stupid reason, I thought about how I felt at the beginning of pregnancies when you're just always in that nausea state. And it was like and I never threw up in my pregnancies, but it was like I took all the nausea from there and all the nausea from that day, and I combined them, and then I was sick. And I went over to the edge, and my husband said, you're going to get wet. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care. But anyway, we made it back. It was amazing how when we actually hit the bay where it was calm, it just calmed right down. I don't know. My stomach still, my stomach takes a long time to be happy again, but I'm not sick anymore. It's just off. We did get 22 crab with our 2 crab pots. So we ate 11 of them, the 3 of us, in Oregon before we came home. And then we were able to fly home with the rest of the frozen fish and frozen crabs and shared. So what did you think of the crab?
It was good. My husband had never had crab before, but he actually really enjoyed it, which is good. We were excited to have crab again.
You have to work for your food.
Yes.
And I learned that my dad does not like crab.
Yeah.
So, which is okay. It's not for everybody. Not everybody likes fish. It's fine.
Yeah.
While we were there, Kira sent a picture to my husband of herself with a tomato from our garden.
We came and watered the garden, and it was the first red tomato. It was just one of the little cherry tomatoes. Best tomato ever.
Tomatoes are your favorite.
I love summer just because of the tomatoes. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah. So then my husband picked a couple more since we got home, just 2 more. So me and him each got a tomato.
Yep.
It's just our little grape tomatoes. I think they're the
cherry tomatoes.
Sweet 100s is what they're called, but they're just little yummy little snack. We call it garden snacks. We've had a couple zucchini. We've shared that.
They've been really good.
They've been really good. A couple of yellow. They were supposed to be yellow zucchini, but they are definitely the crooknecks.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Cucumbers
and
artichokes.
Artichokes.
A lot of artichokes.
A lot of raspberries, and then peppers. Shall we talk about peppers?
I don't know. My husband didn't.
Wait. He's the editor, so if this isn't in there, we'll know. We shouldn't have talked about peppers.
My husband didn't trust my dad on how spicy what was it?
An
Anaheim pepper was. So he started eating it, and he's like, "Oh, it's good. It tastes just like a green pepper." And then he kept eating it. It got really, really spicy, and he regretted that decision to just eat it. On the car ride home, we had nothing but water, so there was nothing to help cool down his mouth. Anyway, so he's dealing with the consequences, but that's okay.
The other thing we did Sunday, when they came over for dinner and we ate fish and crab, we were playing some games, and we decided to play dominoes. It was the most violent game of... No, I'm just kidding. Just when they would draw dominoes.
We were all just taking the dominoes out of each other's hands.
Stealing them as people were...
Them.
Yeah, as you were picking them. So anyway, that was fun. So I think that's mostly what's happened. I have watched a little bit of Flosstube. I watched one with Lori Holt. She posted a Flosstube for the first time in 8 months. She has so much. As Kira said, we don't have near that much. Also, just to warn you guys, the school year will start... In 3 weeks, I go back. And with that, my crafting has to slow down because it's a 40-hour-a-week job and often turns into more with students getting help. And I enjoy that part, but it does change what I'm doing here in my home. I always call students dementors. I mean this with love, but they suck the life out of me at the beginning of the school year when my body's not used to... My body's not used to giving so much to the students all day. I do come home feeling like the life's been sucked out of me. So I will be slowing down a little bit, but some of the reason I don't have as much to show is we were out of town, and some of it's baby, and I'm not going to show you right here. I'd rather give it to you as a gift. So
I don't get to see.
Although I should, maybe I'll hold one back for Flosstube and let her open something for you guys. So anyway, we are going to get started with some of the stuff that we finished. I know we were right by the 4th of July, and I did get this finished that week. I'm just going to make sure that it is right side up. I went ahead and finished it round. I debated some things. This is the 4th of July round by Primrose Cottage. Absolutely fun. I did have to pay attention on this one because it was easy where it was round and so symmetrical that... No, actually I have a lesson for you guys. It was easy to get turned so that you're crossing in the wrong direction, but also I made more mistakes on this than I think I've ever made total on all of my other patterns. For some reason, these little, like the navy part right there and the red part right there, I thought I could stitch without the pattern for some reason, and I could never get my directions right, and then I would end up unpicking it. Also, I did this one? No, it was this side. I did this one, I think 4 times, completely 4 times, because I did it in the lighter blue that I showed you guys. I think it was Chesapeake. I can't remember the name. It's in our last one, but that one I had done in the lighter, and then I redid it and I put it in the wrong spot. And then I redid it and I switched one of the directions because I thought I could stitch. I was just like, I have a lesson for you guys. I'm a math teacher. Count. Look at the pattern. Count the pattern. Look at your cross stitch and count. Yeah. So there's your math lesson for the week. Count. I always tell my students that we learn to count in kindergarten because it's the hardest thing. And maybe by the time we're adults, we'll have it, but
maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not. That was evidence of not having it. So I also finished My Home Sweet Home by Shepherd's Bush. Fully finished it. I showed it finished. Well, almost finished. You guys are so sweet. Nobody mentioned that sheep right there in the middle was not a dirty sheep. It didn't have the little stars on it. So I went in to work on it, to frame it, and I noticed that it needed stitched, so I did add that back stitching there to complete the stars on that one. And then the frame that I bought, I was having a hard time finding a frame to fit this one the way I wanted it to, and so I just added this little bit of twine at the bottom so that I could do it. I've also added the buttons, I believe, since then, so I like that a lot. It looks really cute in my house. Also, we're in Utah, and Utah, we celebrate the 24th of July. It's this week.
It's Pioneer Day.
Pioneer Day.
So we celebrate the pioneers coming over to Utah, basically.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know.
And becoming a state.
Yes.
So it's totally fine to just leave your 4th of July stuff up all of July and then pull it down. It's very, very common to see that until you see people coming from other states and they're like, why are there fireworks? Why is there a parade? Why are people having barbecues? Why do people want today off? Everybody wants this. If you're a state employee, or a small business, but people who are federal employees don't, and so it makes it. They'll just be like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
Or people that are new to the state are like, "Why? What is this?" It's like another 4th of July. What's everybody doing? So. I have another finish. I'll let Kira.
Yeah, so this is our next pattern. Again, that I designed and that my mom stitched. She just finished it. When did you finish? Saturday, probably? Yeah. I think this one is our favorite one that we've done. It just turned out really cute. And my mom said that the border, do you want to talk about the border?
The border was so much fun to stitch. You stitch one and then you just stitch all of those little swirls, and then just that little line on the inside is how I followed it. Also, those little screws, I was like, no, you did not sprinkle screws everywhere on this for me. But they were so much fun. It wasn't like picking up a whole bunch of screws off the garage floor. It was fun to stitch those little screws, and they just stitched so fast. Absolutely loved stitching that one.
Yeah. And she did it on a 36 count, and it was the Edinburgh linen, known as what?
The color is parchment.
Or the color is parchment. So it's kind of a brownish, orangish kind of.
It's by Fiber on a Whim, and this is one I'll show actually in my haul as well, but Fat Quarter Shop has them on sale right now, the Edinburgh linen. So, Fiber on a Whim. So,
yeah. And we made an Etsy shop. And this will be up on it sometime this week.
Yes, so later this week.
We're finally adding some patterns. And then my mom suggested that we change this word to handyman or handy for an alternative like pattern, so that it doesn't just have to be for like a little boy. It can be for the handyman in your life. So
and customize his tools to any color you want. It'll be so cute. Yeah, and then let us know like what you do with it, because I think this will be one that will be definitely fun to see out there.
Yeah, so that'll be included in the pattern on Etsy. So
this was the 36 count. This is a 6-inch frame, so it just fits absolutely perfect in it.
Yep.
So Great job on that one, Kara. I love that. Love that, love that.
Again, it's fun to see those patterns finished and see them in real life.
Okay, so before my trip, I decided I needed another project case that was a little bit patriotic. So I picked out some fabric that I have, that this is the design of it. I didn't piece anything on it. It's just how it is. Some that I had in my stash, and I did it again, the folio. And I'm not going to point out my awful mistakes, guys. I was cramming that binding. Like you were coming to our house at 5:30 to pick us up.
Mm-hmm.
And I finished this around 10 o'clock at night, like a fool. And then had to pack all my cross stitch in it. But I put in here, I had 3, I'll show you in a minute, but I had 3 patterns. I keep dropping my scissors out of it. It's fine. Okay, so the first thing that I actually finished, and I had, ahead of my trip, I like framed. This is just wanting to dump off. Yeah, just tip it that way. Okay. So I started the summer sailboat from the Needle Minder of the Month Club. And I'll just talk about that for just a quick second. It's the Flamingo Toes Needle Minder of the Month Club, and this is the box it comes in, and there's nothing left in the box. It's, oh, no, one little a page that tells us what it is, and the card from the needle minder. But it comes in here with, it had all the thread that you need for the embroidery or the cross stitch is what they say. And that's super cute. So I'm excited to be part of that this year and get a few more needle minders. I love those things. I love them when I bind quilts too, because I just put it on the edge of the quilt and I lose less needles in the couch, and the couch is not lava as much. Anyway, this is as much. Still I didn't lose any on my trip. And I came home and I started stitching. And I was like, dang it. I just caught it in my hair, and then it came off and it went down into the couch. And my son just looked over and he's like, you made it the whole trip without doing that. How can you not do it here? I'm like, I don't know. I must relax too much. Anyway, this is what the pattern outside looks like. Inside has the embroidery and the, I'm going to leave that there. So this is the needle minder and the little boat. So I just had outlined it before I went, and I just had to do the fill with that. Thought it turned out cute. The cloud's a little light. This is on 40 count pewter, Newcastle linen. I had bought it for something else, and it came a little more blue than I wanted. And then I also, on this linen, had decided months ago to stitch the Love Grows Here by Primrose Cottage. That's one of their newsletter free charts that they send out once a month. And I started it. I had picked out different colors to do for the house, and I decided that what I picked for the house was too light and matched the linen too much, blended in too much. And so I switched to the darker color. So this is what I started with. And like I said, it just was blending too much. So I picked it out, and then I switched to this one. And then I said, I need to go home and see if I have, this is $5.98. I need to go home and see if I have a color to go with it. So I went through my colors yesterday, Saturday sometime, and pulled 3810 here. And I'm not sure if that's what I want. So then I was looking, and I was like, I have purples. So here's where I'm at. Leave a comment. Let me know. Should I go with the purples? Should I go with the blues? I don't know. I have both in my house, so I don't know. Let me know what you think. I will probably wait a few more days to stitch on this, because or a week. I don't know. I want to love it, and I don't know. Haven't decided. I'm not doing a greenhouse. I did think pink at one point. The colors are endless, you know. You can
so many options.
You can do anything you want. And then also in this bag, I know it had 3. It had 3, guys. It was wonderful. I worked on this one a little bit more. Again, I framed a little bit here, and I have framed and filled in the house. Sorry, I think there. So that one's coming eventually. This is one that definitely won't be displayed for the 4th this year, since the 4th was a few weeks ago, but I'm excited to have it next year. It's a bigger chart. It has a lot of alphabet still to do. I do think that part will go faster. So anyway, I will show you how I had this. Actually, I didn't have that part in there. I copied my patterns before I went. I decided that if anything happened and I lost what I had stitched on, that I could redo that, but I wouldn't be able to, I mean, it's a lot of money to replace patterns and thread, and so I just thought, no, I'll just take a copy of my patterns. So what I did is I had put one out here that I wasn't actively working on, and then I put my threads for the one project up here at the top. That's for the patriotic
American Sailboat.
The American Sailboat, thank
Yeah.
you. And then I had one tucked in this pocket, and then used these pockets. You can see my copy there. I won't show the chart, but I just have my copy back there. I like to put them in sheet protectors because it keeps them a little more stiff as I'm stitching, and just tucked it in there, and then I can just sit on the airplane and just open it up, sit it on the little tray, stitch, open it in my lap, open it in the car, wherever I am, and just open it and everything's there, and then put it back away. So the other one I took, oh goodness, I only took 2 in this one. I started the August monthly mini village because I was by the beach. Working on that boat just made me feel like, it was so fun. So I did start working on this with a little bit of sand and water there, and this is what it will look like. I have a friend who's stitching these with me, a coworker, and she decided to change the palm leaves and make them a little bigger. And I got looking at it. I love hers. They're beautiful. She added a few fronds and she made them thicker. But I'm wondering if it'll feel like that's more the focus of it. Like that's where your eye would go instead of to the middle and so I don't know. I don't know.
See.
I haven't decided. The other one that I want to stitch again from the newsletter from Primrose Cottage is this Hello Summer. And I went to Pine Needles, local needlework shop, and picked out this 32 count pomegranate to stitch it on. And these are the floss colors. Sorry, I have them in the bag, but those are the floss colors that I have picked out for that. And I'm excited about Hello Summer.
Yeah, I think she should stitch Goodbye Summer because it's almost over. Especially with her going back to school, or the school year starting, not going back to school.
So when I actually start that
Goodbye Summer.
in May of next year, you can change it. No, I'm just kidding.
Change it.
She acts like I'm gonna have it done this summer. That's funny. You think I'm actually gonna? No, I'm just kidding. I would like to. You want to stitch all the things. They're so much fun, and handling them all and stuff. So I mentioned the fabric or the linen from Fat Quarter Shop, and the one that Kira's design is on is parchment, like she said. And when we opened this, and I'm going to open it, you can see, took a piece off. We felt like there were some of the colors in it had a little bit more orange, yellow. Let's see if I can show it. If it shows there, this spot has a little more yellowy orange
Like this spot
to it, and probably about there's a better
true
to color. So we just kind of picked the section that she liked better on it, but I think that's good to know if you're like, oh, I'll get that. That was perfect. It does have a little bit more of an orangey yellow, the over dye. And then I got some 36 count slate. And I love this gray spinel. Is that how you say it? A spinel? Is that how you would say it?
Yeah, something like that.
Spinel?
Spinal.
I
I have no idea.
All the colors. It's just a lighter
Gray.
neutral gray. And then the moonstone also, there might be an order coming today or tomorrow with some of this in a different count. Because I loved it so much when it came. The gray was gone when I went to do more, but I will just say I did the notify me when it's back in stock, and I thought, well, that'll be after the sale, but I'm going to just mark it anyway, and I got more, so do that. I also ordered the Autumn Petites. I just thought they were cute. I think they were on sale when I did it. They're just cute little fall. Just something small to add to like my tier tray or something. At Acorns and Threads, I picked up a small piece of, what color are we? Oh, on the floor. That's what color we are. Bisque 40 count. It's just a small piece, 11 by 13, just for something small, just because I liked it. And then when I walked in, I saw Teresa Koget's new pattern, Goodness and Mercy. And I know you have thoughts about what you're seeing. You share in a minute. I just loved The Lord is My Shepherd. That so there's the whole pattern, Goodness and Mercy. I love the verse of scripture there. Sheep. I know my whole house is not sheep, guys. I promise. I don't have like farm animals around my house, but we're starting to question if I'm going to have a few more. But I just thought that the border, the little house, the trees, it's all so beautiful to me. Okay, Kira, go ahead. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I just know my mom's and my styles are very different. That's very much. And there's a sheep on everything now. She went through a truck phase. Now it's sheep.
Oh, I do love trucks.
Yeah.
I need to make.
She goes through.
I need some more trucks. I love the vintage trucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to ride in one because they smell like the exhaust and the gas is so gross. But I bought this flax colored Newcastle linen for that there, and to stitch that on. I realize this is a little more yellowy, but I liked the softness of this. I picked up just a few of the threads. I do want to, I changed a couple, and I want to go through the pattern a little bit more carefully. A lot of the others were DMC, so I'll pick those up here locally. And then I was ready to check out. I knew my husband was waiting in the car, that he was done shopping, and I was like, okay, I just need to check out. And the lady at the cash register said something about the back room, which is where people were stitching, and clearance. And I was like, I love me a good sale. So I went back there, and it was a good choice. I picked up NW100 Channing Street, a memorial. I picked that one up. And it says, teach me to fill another's woe, to hide the fault I see, that mercy I to others show, that mercy show to me. I just like that little quote. I've looked at that one online. I've had it in the cart before, I think. And then also, because we're on the Oregon coast, I've mentioned that I love lighthouses and beach, even though I don't decorate my house fully in it. I do have a few things, but it's not overwhelming beach, because you feel like a fraud when you don't live near one. But I've been wanting to stitch a lighthouse for years, and I didn't love any of the Oregon coast ones that I found, but this one was there in the clearance, and so I picked it up. It's Nantucket Lights. You say it, Manny Di Donna. Anyway, I just thought that was so cute. So eventually I'll stitch that. I don't actually put anything out for August. I was thinking about it. I don't have like August decor. So I may or may not use that. So that's my haul. I also have from Stitching with the Housewives. Did I talk about that? I did not. So I watched Stitching with the Housewives. They're hilarious. They're so much fun. Priscilla and Chelsea. Priscilla's a mom. Probably you guys know way more about them than me. I probably don't need to tell you anything. But Priscilla shared, not this past Friday, but the one before, that she has cancer. And she didn't share what kind. And they mentioned it again on Friday, or this Saturday when they posted that they're not going to. And I can feel that. We're here, we're sharing part of our lives, sharing who and what we are. We're authentic, we're real, but we don't necessarily want to share everything. And I just think it's important to remember, as people share with you, they're people that have real things that are private. But anyway, I have this chart from them I would like to get stitched. That's one of my Americana ones. I'm not sure if I will do it on black to break from my tan back woes, or if I want to change that to something different. I have not decided that, but I did pull some threads I thought I had with it. No, I did not pull threads for that. That's a lie. Okay, last cross stitch. Fat Quarter Shop. And by the way, we're not affiliates with anybody. We're just starting out. We don't know what we're doing yet. We're working on it. But Fat Quarter Shop every July does Jolly July. They also give away some free patterns or have them posted on the website. So this is the start of it. The little ho ho ho. I thought was cute. I have some black. It's a 28 count. I was going to use for something different at one point and have changed from that. So I'll probably start that and actually stitch along this year. I'm going to try.
Nice. Good goal.
Okay. That was a lot of me.
No, what?
Oh, I'm just going to mention on cases. I did those cases. The ones that I've showed you are the Simply Stitching Organizer Extra Large pattern by A Winding Rainbows, Christine A. Sherman on Etsy. I also have this other one I didn't take because this is me making it error. I used too thick of a stabilizer and it is so thick and poofy that packing it, I feel like by the time I fill it. But I also love this one. It has a little snap and then your thread bed and places for your thread, zipper pocket, and then this extra pocket. So if you're interested in that one, that's the folding stitching case by the Bobbin Jar. So also on Etsy. So just a little mention on that, on what cases I'm liking right now. So quilting is a mess. No, quilting is all happening for baby, and Kira can't see what I've done. So you guys don't get to see what I've done because she's sitting right here. She's a little snoopy. But I did mention I want to do these stockings, and all I've done for those is come up with, I'm going to use the shape of the stocking, but I'm going to change
the
designs to match Kira and her home at Christmas. So while I was in Oregon, I stopped at Patchwork Quilts. It's in the same building that in Newport that there was a quilt shop that was all applique that we stopped at 6 years ago. And Kira and I each made a quilt. I was going to pull those out.
I should have pulled that up.
We'll pull those out. They're summary. We'll pull them out next time. But we did those a couple years ago, and I stopped in there, and it was a new owner. Sorry, Patchwork Oasis Quilt Shop. Patchwork Oasis. It's a new owner, and she is transitioning so that she will have kind of half and half. Before it was all applique, and she loves patchwork, and that's why she's changed the name. So I did pick up these little reds
and whites
that have little snowflakes on them. Probably can't pick that. Oh, sorry, I just totally blocked you.
That's okay.
So the little reds and whites to go for the stocking, and then I've also just pulled some from my stash, and then I probably have an order coming in a day or two on more red fabrics. So Kira last year made a Christmas tree skirt and wiped out my reds.
Which we'll pull on in December.
In December. So these are some that I've pulled out, and then just these solids as well. to make that many stockings, the fronts, the backs, the linings. It'll use a little fabric for each of them, not oodles, but we'll make a few of those. So hopefully I will get cracking on those soon. And then, should I do my last Christmas in July?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to show these because they're so tiny.
Yeah.
I've been making snowflakes. They're not blocked yet. They're not starched. These are for my Christmas tree. Just to add a few more. The pattern, and it's all just that.
Oh, they're all the same.
Those ones, yeah, this one's different. But these are copied from my husband's grandma. Just looking at her patterns. This I haven't woven threads or anything. And then this is her other one, and they're so much prettier once they're blocked and starched. But I'm making progress on my Christmas in July. Little starts, little things at a time. So there's those. And what have you been doing, ma'am?
Well, like I said, I haven't done a lot of crafting because I only have 3 more weeks of school than I've done. And I was out of town for a week, so I've been busy. I did a dress where I did some sleeves that took really long. It was a cap sleeve originally, and I made a bishop sleeve, which is just a long, poofy sleeve that has a cuff. And the cuff, I did a whole bunch of lace on it. So it turned out really good. I don't have any pictures of it yet, but the bride will hopefully send those pictures soon. Hopefully. So, but me and my husband have been trying to come up with more like random date ideas just to spend more time together. And not just like watching movies or something because we get bored of that. So we decided to do some finger painting, and again, everything is baby mode in our house. So I painted this little tree that will go in her room. I have found out that I'm a very flowery person. Everything I've picked out for her pretty much has flowers on it. So there's just a whole bunch of little flowers on a little tree. So
cute.
All done with my fingers.
So
no
cute.
paintbrushes.
Like, and you got it all skinny and good without like.
Yeah. We'll hold it back so that you guys can't see all the little errors.
They watch it on TV.
Oh.
I looked.
Yeah.
Like half our people are watching it on TV.
So don't get too close to your TV.
switch to your
the
TV.
mobile during this part. Just kidding.
Okay. And coming up, what you got? Yeah,
so I did make a tiny bit of progress on the mobile, however you say that word. Where I hot glued everything together, but now I just need to hang up all the flowers. So hopefully next time, but maybe the next, depending on how school goes.
3 weeks of school.
Yeah, we'll hopefully have it to show you guys. And then I am going to be turning my wedding dress into a little baby blessing dress for our daughter. So I'm going to start cutting into my wedding dress here soon. Which is a little scary, but it's just sitting in my closet though, so what else am I going to do with it, right? So we'll see how that turns out.
Mine's in my sister's closet because we wore the same one. So yeah, I don't even have mine, so it's not like I'm like, oh no, I look at it all the time.
Yeah,
you can imagine.
That's what pictures are for. Right.
Yeah. So I my plan is to work on the stockings and finish those, finish up some of the baby things, and hopefully have something to let Kira open for you guys next time, and get excited for that little one coming. We really appreciate you guys watching. Sorry we're a little longer this time. I apologize.
We were just chit-chatting.
Thanks so much for watching. You can like and subscribe. Would love your comments. Let me know on those colors, which ones you think I should use, either the purples or the blues. So thank you so much, and make sure that you are stitching something.
We'll see you next time. Bye.